Every day I walk on this planet, I'm reminded every day of just how infectious and insidious social media has really become. Now, it has its uses, but I mean, it's not really doing too well when I'm seeing more negatives than positives, and it just keeps adding up like a list of problems in life that we as Gen Z have to deal with the ramifications of. And now, I've got social media, but I use it as a tool, not necessarily as a sort of vent in life, or rather an escapism. I mean, I use YouTube, if anything, more than any social media, but I usually just put on like video essays in the background or news in the background or whatever, and I just go about my day and do chores and whatnot. Or sometimes I'll just scroll around on Discord to like see what other gaming channel news is that I've heard. Like, we're talking news that I hear from other projects in different modding communities or gaming communities, rather. Nothing that has to do with politics or just celebrity weird gossip crap. I just find it annoying, invasive, and especially with how social media is hardwired, and with studies coming out about it, basically, creating a portfolio or profile of you and then tying it to your location, which is it's just creepy. It's real creepy. And I just don't personally like that, so it's just disgusting. That's all I can think of. I see all these, posts around that come into my feed eventually, because it's inescapable. Even though you can completely isolate or cut it out of your life, it's still invasive in certain ways. But you see all these posts of girls that are exaggerating their features and looks, using filters and everything to make them look better than they actually are, basically getting rid of the concept of natural beauty, and now diving into further of adding more filters and makeup than already is humanly possible, because I'm a big believer in just having natural beauty. I mean, sure, when you're going out somewhere nice and everything, sure, add a little bit of makeup if you want, but there's no reason on an everyday, daily basis to be adding a shitload of makeup on your face just to change how you look to people around you, because it's just fake, and it's dumb, and real stupid. And you can just see that social media adds into that more and more, setting these expectations for women to basically change their look to make them look like a standout, and look like they're more attractive than they actually are. Because I mean, now there's just AI thrown into this mix of just making a lot of these filters, and some of these people go from literally chubby, we're talking people that would be a contender of my 500-pound life, to looking nearly slim or fit or just a little bit chubby. And it's like, that's some catfishing shit right there, especially when you're going on to dating apps and using this to basically hide a look to someone as a lie to get a date started. That's just disturbing. I'm sorry, that's really disturbing, and it just adds more to the feel of just how bad social media really has gotten. I mean, and then we're just seeing the effect it's having on even Gen Alpha's brain. I mean, look at these words and slangs that they're coming up with now. I know back in the day we had our own weird little nuances and slangs and everything, but when I go back and look at those and I compare them to the ones that we have now with Gen Alpha, it's like, this is some massive actual brain rot. Like, we're talking, this is stuff that's got to be rotting their brain, or at the very least is just causing some sort of damage into their speech vocabulary. It's just crazy and just disturbing when you really think about it even more and more now. Or even another step further too, stuff like LinkedIn that basically is just a circle jerk website where everybody just congratulates themselves on certain positions they get in work. But in reality, it's just, again, it's a circle jerk. If you're not doing anything productive, people will just start harassing you or bullying you on there. Just like, Reddit, but more professional and more focused on the job market, even though the job applying space on there is literally full of bots and not helpful whatsoever. I have a LinkedIn, but I kind of just don't really use it anymore. Maybe I'll start it back up just to change my working position or something. I don't know. I don't really use LinkedIn. It's not really a good place to go looking for jobs, because it just is full of, again, a circle jerk of people thinking that they need to pat themselves on the back for basically, working a day at work, or basically just going around in circles with each other and creating a sort of tunnel vision and groupthink, or whatever other term you want to call it, preventing us from seeing what's actually going on in the world. And then, again, the AI job influx is there. It's just ridiculous. It's like, you can just see how it's poisoning more and more of us as time goes on. Because, despite how well connected we are with all this information at our fingertips, in the end, we're more lonely than we've ever been. Because now everybody can just create a filter and a sort of ideal world in their head and set unreasonable expectations that are clearly damaging to our generation and Gen Alpha as a whole. And it's just, you're seeing it play in real time, like a slow forming car crash unfolding beyond your very eyes. And it's sad. There was a time where, you could just go out and not have to worry about someone being, fake. You could actually get a genuine connection. Like, even in person, it can be hard to sometimes, because if someone says they're on social media constantly and, creating opinion puff pieces and, selling themselves through OnlyFans or using social media to promote their OnlyFans, you can really just see it just creates all this kind of damage and everything. And then, not to mention, it doesn't help that we get cave dwellers and trolls and people that basically feel the need to harass everybody around them who doesn't think like they do. I mean, look at Reddit. Reddit, literally, as much as I still use it from time to time for gaming, outside of that, Reddit is a complete cesspool of just the most insulting, infuriating, and vile things that could be imaginable. As Mike Tyson would put it in a quote, social media made you all way too comfortable with disrespecting people and not getting punched in the face for it. And I think that's true. A lot of people feel like they are untouchable on the internet and can do whatever the heck they want, damn the consequences be. Because now we have tragedies like what just happened recently with a channel by the name of Save a Fox, where this channel, for those of you who don't know or haven't seen it, was basically a fox rescue, animal sort of rescue channel that a lot of people had watched, especially during COVID, myself included, because it was kind of being circulated in our YouTube feed. But anyway, Michaela has tragically left this planet by her own hand, and it's just sad. Because I remember watching the channel, especially a lot of the clips with Finnegan and Dixie the fox. Foxes are interesting creatures because a lot of people say they have the independence of a cat but the energy of a dog. And you can see that full display as you watch those videos on. But her husband is having to tragically pick up the pieces and continue on in life without her. Even take care of a child that is no longer going to have a mother for the rest of their life. And obviously, information's been coming out that no, it wasn't just Reddit. It was a bunch of other places. Primarily, it seems to be a coordinated attack by other humanitarian sort of saving foundations. So I'm not going to just put all the blame on Reddit fully, since now information's come out since then, being a couple days since the tragic event. But I think it's just sad that social media is now turned into a weapon that people use to target people that are just trying to save animals' lives and try to create a difference in their community, all because, it's not fitting their idea or it somehow threatens their safety mission. It's really stupid. It really is, because now we lost somebody who was a huge prominent figure in rescuing animals in the community, and I really liked watching those videos. It was really nice, because, I'm always someone that likes to watch animal videos. It's another thing I use YouTube for, is I just watch animal videos, or animals being, animals. Mostly cats, and then, huskies, because they're just weird creatures. Like, cats are just weird. But in the case of with Michaela and Save a Fox, it's just sad. It just really is. And I really enjoyed watching her videos, back during COVID, because a little piece about my life. But 5 years ago, I had a friend die in a rock climbing accident, and Michaela looked very eerily close to her. So it was kind of a weird coincidence that was thrown my way. But still, regardless, I will leave a link in the description for their PayPal if you want to donate to them or just offer any sort of support, because this is just, again, it's sad. This shouldn't have happened, and it's just another thing on the shit list that I have with social media, and why it's like people need to be held accountable for this, because this is just unacceptable. We can't just keep going on as a society if people like this are getting away with it and nobody is, suffering any ramifications for actions without getting punched in the face for it, as Mike Tyson had said in the quote I brought up earlier. So I just think hopefully something could be done about this, and that this shit can stop, because this is just not okay. But once again, my heart, thoughts, and prayers go out to Ethan and their child, Freya. Hopefully they can find peace and comfort in all this, and hopefully, again, they can take legal action against the people that were responsible for causing some of this. And hopefully some comfort can be found in this situation. But anyway, that's all I have really on this video. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to know when I post another video. We're still on the road to now 500 subscribers. And as of recording, I'm at 309. New goal that we're setting for ourselves. So we'll keep going forward, and we'll keep continuing to see where life takes us. So anyway, I will see you guys with another video. Y'all take care and have a good rest of your Thursday.